Well, the US ambassador to the European Union is now calling on all international partners to work together to ensure free passage in the crucial Strait of Hormuz. He spoke to our correspondent Jack Parrock earlier.
Almost a quarter of the world's oil goes through the Straits of Hormuz, and it is unacceptable to the United States and to most of the civilized world for Iran to do anything that would interfere in freedom of navigation through those straits. And we encourage our friends, our allies, to join us in freedom of navigation operations, to sail freely through the straits, and to keep those waterways open for the benefit of all.
That was Gordon Sondland, US ambassador to the EU, speaking there. Well, let's head now to Brussels and get more from Jack. Jack, there seems to be a bit of a reluctance from the US allies here in Europe to sort of take part in this effort to safeguard security in the Strait of Hormuz. Why is that?
Well, firstly, I think they're watching what the Americans are doing. Obviously, we know that 500 additional troops are going to be stationed on the other side of the strait in Saudi Arabia. The Americans have announced that. And at the moment, what the Europeans are focused on is the Iran nuclear deal. They've obviously called for constraint. The European Commission spokeswoman saying today in the briefing that they hope that all sides can continue to talk and that it can be constructive. But with these announcements of sort of skirmishes and military sort of flare-ups in the Strait of Hormuz, there is some real worries. Around a quarter of the world's oil flows is transported through the Strait of Hormuz. And while the Iran nuclear deal is obviously what everyone's trying to save, the so-called JCPOA deal, and while the Europeans have got a system in place to try and get companies to work with the Iranian government, to work in Iran and avoid US secondary sanctions, at the moment what the focus is on is that actual situation on the ground in the Strait of Hormuz. It's a very, very complex situation. Obviously, the Iranians denying that a drone has even been shot down there, but the US stepping up its military operations in that part of the world. As I said, the Europeans are trying to keep Iran within the nuclear deal, despite the Iranian government announcing that it is breaching the uranium enrichment limits as part of the deal, that it has done so on 2 occasions. But the Europeans say that this is reversible, that it's calibrated, and that they can get Iran back in the deal. All of that, however, doesn't really matter to the Americans. They say they're trying to strangle off the cash flow into the Iranian economy so that they can get Iran back in line with their idea of what should be going on.
Jack Parrock there with the latest on those efforts to safeguard security in that vital shipping lane. Thank you.